first glance, the inquiry of who resided in ancient Greece appears to warrant the response ancient Greeks. Nevertheless, the ancient Greeks were not the original settlers of ancient Greece, and even during the classical period there were individuals from other cultures residing alongside the Greeks. This video will focus on the non-Greek tribes of ancient Greece. The forebears of the ancient Greeks migrated to the Balkan Peninsula from the north during the second millennium BC. They referred to the people who lived before them as the Pelasgians. Herodotus, that grand chronicler of antiquity, referred to them as the ghostly inhabitants of a bygone era, a time when Hellas was also referred to as Pelasgia. Their origins remain tantalizingly obscure, though modern scholars suspect they were descendants of the Neolithic farmers who migrated from fertile Asia Minor. Legend spun a comforting narrative, attributing the rule of Arcadia, a rugged and ancient land, to a mythical king named Pelasgos. He was hailed as the one who bestowed upon these proto-Greeks the rudiments of civilization, the comfort of huts and the decency of clothing. Scattered like fallen stones across the map of Hellas, their presence echoed in place names, Larissa in Thessaly, a putative hub of their civilization. Archaic Athens too whispered tales of Pelasgian settlers, though here they were cast as recent arrivals from the wind-swept shores of Samothrace. Beyond the mainland, their industrious hands helped shape settlements on the Aegean Islands, the fringes of Asia Minor, and even the sun-drenched Isle of Sicily. By the time of the classical era, however, the Pelasgians had become phantoms. Herodotus, ever the astute observer, noted their curious disappearance, suggesting they had been quietly absorbed into the burgeoning Greek population. Only the Molossians, a hardy tribe nestled in the northwest corner of Greece, seemed to retain a tenuous connection to this vanished world. They were credited with founding the venerable oracle of Zeus at Dodona, a testament to their ancient lineage. Indeed, Olympias, the fiery mother of Alexander the Great, traced her ancestry back to the Molossian throne, a faint echo of a people long consigned to the twilight of history. Among shadowy figures that preceded the Greeks were the Carians. They shared Arcadia with the Pelasgians. Revered by the later Greeks as relics of a lost epoch, the Carians flit through our sources. Homer casts them as Trojan allies, while Strabo places them on the northern shores of Asia Minor. Were these Arcadian Carians remnants of an ancient migration from Asia Minor, or perhaps a Pelasgian splinter group with a hauntingly similar name? Another pre-Hellenic tribe closely linked to the Pelasgians are the Leges. Herodotus paints them as Aegean islanders, originating from the Cyclades. History finds them subject to the Cretan kings, providing tribute in the form of skilled oarsmen. Some Leges even found themselves transplanted by the Cretans to Asia Minor, where they coexisted with the Carians. The intriguing possibility arises when we consider references to Leges inhabiting Boeotia. Furthermore, Hittite tablets from the second millennium BC whisper of the Lulahi people residing in western Asia Minor. Could the Greek Leges and these Hittite Lulahi be whispers of the same tribe echoing across millennia? Crete itself, a jewel nestled south of the Balkan Peninsula, cradled one of the most ancient civilizations, the Minoans. This name, bestowed by 19th-century archaeologists in homage to the legendary King Minos, serves as a poignant reminder of the fragmentary nature of our knowledge. Heinrich Schliemann, and later Sir Arthur Evans, breathed life into this lost world through their excavations at Knossos. But their discoveries yield tantalizing riddles. Clay discs etched with Minoan script remain stubbornly undeciphered, concealing the true language and self-designation of this brilliant people. By the time of the classical Greeks, the Minoan flame had flickered out in the mid-second millennium BC, leaving behind only whispers in myth. The tales of the mighty Minos, his monstrous son Minotaur, the ingenious Daedalus, and his ill-fated son Icarus. These may or may not hold echoes of a bygone era. Hints of Minoan descendants might linger in Homer's archaic Odyssey, with his mentions of Idiocratans, Crete, and Sidonians. Yet the truth remains shrouded in the mists of prehistory. Delos, a small island nestled in the Aegean Sea, carried immense significance for ancient Greeks as the sacred site where the gods Apollo and Artemis were believed to have been born. In the classical era, it became a matter of great pride for numerous Greeks to not only pay pilgrimage to the sacred sanctuary on Delos, but also to die on its hallowed grounds. As time went by, the small island gradually transformed into a vast necropolis. In 425 BC, the Athenians took charge of safeguarding the sanctuary, imposing strict regulations that prohibited both birth and death on the island. Additionally, they initiated the process of reinterment. Astonishingly, they discovered that a significant portion of the deceased inhabitants were not Greeks, but rather belonged to the Carian people. As Thucydides wrote, they were identified by the fashion of the arms buried with them and by the method of interment, which was the same as the Carians still follow. According to Thucydides, the Carians were originally a group of pirates who arrived in Delos but were later expelled by Minos. Subsequently, they established themselves in the west of Asia Minor, in a coastal country known as Caria. However, Herodotus held a different perspective on the matter. In reference to the Carians, he argued that they had always inhabited there. Interestingly, Herodotus himself hailed from the city of Halicarnassus, which was constructed by the Greeks in Caria, and Herodotus's father, Lixes, bore a name of Carian origin. The language of the Carians enable their classification as Indo-Europeans. It is evident that they emerged in Asia Minor during the same period as the Greeks in Greece. However, their origin can be traced back to the Bosphorus rather than the Cyclades Islands. During the period of Herodotus and Thucydides, the Carians had assimilated numerous Greek traditions while maintaining their distinctive language and religion. Since the rocky terrain made agriculture challenging, they turned to a life at sea, becoming skilled sailors, pirates, and mercenaries. Surprisingly, inscriptions in the Carian language can even be found in faraway Nubia, which is situated on the border of present-day Egypt and Sudan. In 334 BC, Caria fell under the control of Alexander the Great. Subsequently, the Carians gradually merged with the Greek culture and society. Greece's tapestry of peoples stretches far beyond the blonde braids of mythical heroes. Woven into its very fabric are the threads of the Phoenicians, also known as Canaanites. These Semitic wayfarers hailed from the ancient Middle Eastern land of Canaan, a name that still resonates through the pages of the Bible. Their city-states thrived during the late 2nd and early 1st millennia BC, a time when their maritime prowess reshaped the Mediterranean world. Fueled by their revolutionary invention, the large-decked ship, the Phoenicians spearheaded the colonization of the Mediterranean, venturing boldly into the Atlantic. Herodotus even recounts tales of their audacious circumnavigation of Africa. Their colonies, like Carthage in North Africa, blossomed into prominent maritime powers in their own right. The first encounters between Phoenicians and Greeks occurred around the 2nd millennium BC, coinciding with the Achaean colonization of Cyprus. The Mycenaean civilization's decline temporarily weakened the Greeks, opening a window for the Phoenicians to assert their influence along burgeoning trade routes. Homer himself sings of their lively commerce with the Greeks, but their interactions transcended mere commercial exchanges. The Phoenicians established settlements within Greece itself. The Aegean islands held a particular allure for them. Colonies sprouted on Santorini, Samothrace, Seriphos, and Rhodes. On Crete, they founded the city of Itanos. These strategically placed hubs allowed them to export rare metal ores and dazzling semi-precious stones. The Greek mainland, too, felt their presence. Cadmus, the legendary founder of Thebes, was none other than the son of Agenor. a Phoenician king. Europa, Cadmus's sister, forever linked to the vast continent we now call Europe, was whisked away by Zeus in a most spectacular elopement. By the 7th century BC, the tide of Phoenician influence in Greece began to recede, yet the Greeks were not passive recipients. They eagerly absorbed elements of this Eastern culture. Perhaps the most significant contribution was the adoption of the Phoenician alphabet, a transformative moment that ushered in a new era of written communication. The Phoenicians then were not merely traders or colonists. They were unwitting heralds of a revolution on the page, one that would forever alter the course of Greek and ultimately Western civilization. The legacy of ancient Greece is more diverse than commonly believed. While ancient Greeks viewed non-Greeks as barbarians, they were quick to embrace and integrate their accomplishments. Therefore, it is crucial not to overlook the contributions of non-Greek tribes to the historical tapestry of ancient Greece. If you enjoy our short informative video, put your like and subscribe. Do not miss our upcoming videos. We may be a bit awkward, but we always manage to have a good time and find joy in the little things.